Manchester United Football Club have reportedly made a bid in the region of £5 to £6 million for one of the most touted and most sought-after midfielders, or at least when you look across social media, in Denis Zakaria. Is he close to joining Manchester United? We're going to delve into that story throughout the course of this stream. In other news, Everton left back Lucas Digne appears to be very, very close to joining Aston Villa. Some reports suggesting it is a done deal pending a medical. And there is a big John Cross update on Vlahovic to Arsenal Football Club. Make sure you are smashing that like button. You sign up to our free transfer negotiation group chat. The link's in our live comment section or in the description below. This is the Done Deal Show on the Football Terrace. Let's go. Morning, everybody. Welcome back to the terrace. I really appreciate that massively. A big thank you to everyone who is tuning in so far today. Look, the transfer news is picking up thick and fast. So I'm just editing something while I'm talking to you. It's picking up thick and fast with reports that Manchester United have made an official bid for Denis Zakaria. We're going to go through that story. Going to give you my take on it. Like my opinion based on this story and some of the other pieces of news circulating today across social media. Do me a big favor today. What are you doing? It's a Monday morning. It's cold here in the UK, but where are you? What are you doing? Where are you listening from? Get that into the live comment section. We want to know. If you're tuning into the playback, get your comments into the comment section right now. I want to know your thoughts on Denis Zakaria as a player. How good is he? Will he be Premier League ready if he was to come in January? Do you see this working out? There are multiple other clubs looking at him. Would you like to see that happen and be part of things? So I want to know. I want to know what you think about Denis Zakaria, the live comment section or in the comment section below. We are talking Vlahovic and Lucas Digne later as well. I want comments on those players as well. I want a bit more opinion. We're kind of losing opinions on football now. It's rather just don't think the deal's going to happen. Let's talk about the players for a moment here and kind of go through that. Big up to yourself, my friend. I'm in Dubai with Igal. Love it. In Kuwait. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Where are we looking at here? Sweden. Dubai. Where else we got people watching from as well today? Where else are people watching from today? Hi, Realist TV. Hope you're good, my friend. Gerard versus Ragnick. Of course, that's on tonight. First watch along in the studio, exclusively on Twitch. So you need to go and follow our Twitch account. Link for that is in the description below as well. So go and get yourselves across to it. Go and get that done. Otherwise, well, you won't be able to watch the watch along later. And the watch along is going to be good fun, I think. I think it's going to be really good fun. So, yeah, I'm very, very excited about that. I very much am. Where do we start today? What bit of news do we... Joe, I'll let you, the viewers. Do you know what we're going to do? Matt has made my mind up here. Frustrating news on Chelsea's end. So, it being related to Chelsea is really going to make this easy. So one of the Chelsea's targets, someone that they were interested in, someone they were looking at, someone they inquired about for the past sort of 6 to 8 weeks, really, has been, might not be that long, it might be about 4 weeks, Lucas Digne. Of course, he's leaving Everton. That relationship has, I'm not even going to say it's soured, but it's come to the end of its tether. And he's leaving. Chelsea were highly touted to go after him. Chelsea were highly touted to land him. Chelsea was seen as the very much the front runners in that deal. But it appears what's happened is both Everton and Lucas Digne have decided that Chelsea's offer wasn't suitable to them. Essentially, Chelsea wanted the loan with an option to buy clause in it. whereas Everton and the player both wanted either a permanent deal now or a loan with an obligation to buy in the summer. And of course, Chelsea are looking at this through the lens of, none of us know the severity of Ben Chilwell's injury, but Chelsea appear to be very confident he'll be back. A lot of these ligament injuries now, people are normally back within 6 months. So come the start of next season, Ben Chilwell is very much likely to be back in the fold. Chelsea believe he's going to come back and he's going to be fully fit. So it looks as though they don't want to commit to another high-level left-back. So you have two in the squad creates a bit of a problem potentially. One becoming disgruntled. You also put in a lot of money into both. Both are going to be expensive in terms of salary. Could that money be better invested elsewhere? So Chelsea are looking to move on to maybe recalling Emerson. Now, this opened up the door, and Aston Villa appear to have got this situation to almost what I've read today is it's a done deal pending a medical. I think Leicester City, of course, are also vying for an option in him as well. Nothing has been completely signed off unless, since I've gone live, the news has been released. But it does appear that Aston Villa have got this deal done. It does appear that Aston Villa are going to get this over the line. And when you look at the business done in the summer, you look at the players that Aston Villa have gone after so far in this window with Philippe Coutinho coming in. Now you're looking at Lucas Digne as well. They're adding. The jury's out on Coutinho whether he's still at his best in the Prem. I think he may be. But you've signed two Premier League proven players in their late 20s, players who have been there, done it, and worn the T-shirt, players that have been at some of the biggest clubs in the world. There's a lot of positives about what Steven Gerrard is doing there. And you can be someone who dislikes Gerrard. You can be someone that, I don't want him to do well because, I'm a United fan or an Everton fan, whatever it may be. But you can't deny that he's got some pull because of who he is in the game. His style of football is very attractive. He did brilliant things at Rangers, and he started life at Aston Villa very, very well. And I think what should be really encouraging for Aston Villa supporters around the world, around the UK, is the fact that your board have so far delivered exactly what they promised they would do for your manager. He was promised money was going to be spent. He was promised that they would go into the market and spend money and invest to make his squad better. And Aston Villa have done that very, very well indeed. And I think that for me is the element that stands out the most here. That's the element for me, which is, I think, most impressive, because at the end of the day, Spurs are kind of twiddling their thumbs. Chelsea fans feel like they need reinforcements, and 10 days into January and nothing has happened at this moment in time. And certain other teams out there, Newcastle, Aston Villa, are getting their business done. And I think from a Tottenham point of view, it's even more painful because Antonio Conte was promised players as well. There's been a number of weeks to start working on those deals and nothing has happened as of yet. So Chelsea fans, how you feeling? Matt here says Emerson is decent, but we sent him off for a reason. I'm not sure 6 months can change his ability. Would have preferred Digne. And I think a lot of Chelsea fans would echo that. You'd prefer that quality as an example. And it is a worry and it is a concern for Chelsea fans as they want to, they play Man City the first game back after this hiatus from the Premier League because of the FA Cup. They want to win that game. They want to be in the best position possible. And maybe Lucas Digne gives everybody that boost that is kind of needed to push things forward and take things to that next level. The Man United news that is circulating today. Listen, Denis Zakaria, everyone's going to have a difference. A lot of people rate Denis Zakaria. Interestingly, I've seen people start to challenge him now, and I'm not surprised that his ability is being challenged. He's linked to Man United. This is par for the course. The reports came out late yesterday evening that Manchester United had submitted a £5 to £6 million £5 to £6 million bid for the player. Now, what's interesting to me is, one, whether or not this turns out to be true. Who else is looking at him? Can Manchester United get this over the line? That was a Swiss outlet via MUFC MPB who put out the news that a bid had been placed for him. There was also another journalist whose name I'm going to read out now. It disappeared off of my screen, that also shared very similar news to that, who came out and said something a little bit different. This was a journalist called Luigi Longari, who verified journalist for Sport Italia TV, a transfer insider, what he said. And he has claimed and he has said that Man United are in talks to sign him. Rangnick appreciates the player. We also know through listening to Fabrizio Romano in recent days that Man United are certainly looking at him along with a lot of other teams. Mönchengladbach appear very open to allowing him to leave now to recoup some money and bring it in. But the question remains, is he close to joining Manchester United? Could this deal be done? Could they get it over the line? And if they were to, how good a piece of business do people believe this is? That's what I'm really intrigued about today. I want to hear from you on. That's what I want to hear from you on today. How good a piece of business do you think this could be for Manchester United, for the player, if it indeed was to come off, get done, and get itself over the line? Spurs fan here says Zakaria is bang average. Is he going to be a lot more than 5 to 6 million? He won't be a lot more than 5 to 6 million because his contract runs out in June 2022. So essentially this summer he's available for free. So a lot of clubs are talking to him now. The majority we're going to start talking to him anyway because they're looking to move to him in the summer months. However, there is the distinct possibility that he can be purchased now. There's no guarantees, but there is a distinct possibility that Mönchengladbach would let him go now for the right amount of money. That's the kind of news that's been circulating in relation to him, Paul. So thank you very much. H7 here, one of our members, says Zakaria isn't bang average. And I think most people would agree with you. I don't personally think he is myself. I don't personally think he is. He's a very talented player. He's a good age as well. I love the fact that he's 25, just turned 25. He's 6'3", 81 kilos ish, give or take. What he's got, if you look at him play, he's got good technical ability, very good technical ability, no doubt about it at all. He's got, again, I wouldn't say he's electric in speed from what I've seen, but he's no slouch. He's 6'3", though. He's got that physical presence you need. He's 25 years old. Therefore, he's a grown man. I think these elements are going to be very, very important when it comes to, potentially moving into the Premier League. And the area of the pitch that he touches, plays, and dominates is important. It's 80% beneath the halfway line, in his own half, protecting, shielding, and managing that back line. Something that Manchester United just have zero support with. This season alone, you look at him across all competitions, nearly 60% of his defensive duels won. Just under 5 interceptions per game. Barely loses the ball. Just on average, 6 losses per game over, over 9 recoveries per game as well. Like he's excellent in terms of those defensive attributes. There is no doubt about it. And when you look at his passing accuracy, a 91% passing accuracy, which I think is exceedingly good. What also stands out that you have to look at is how is he when it comes to moving that ball forward and progressing the ball. Passes into the final third of the pitch, he attempts over 6 per game with an 87% accuracy. That is absolutely brilliant. The ball is worked through him a lot. His forward passing accuracy is at 85%. His back passing accuracy at 96%. And it's always important when you look at someone's passing accuracy to check the difference between forward and backwards passing. Is he somebody that has a 95% backwards passing accuracy, but 65% when it comes to moving the ball forward, trying to break the line with those passes? Forward passing accuracy is very good. He attempts just under 20 forward passes per game. And as we say, around 6 into that final third, which are those penetrating passes. And that isn't his main job. His main job is to protect the back line and everything else. He is, when you watch him play, a very capable football player. He is technically gifted on the ball and he has the physicality and athleticism needed, in my opinion, for the Prem. Does that mean he's going to be a success? No. We've seen people come into the league with that type of profile and still not adapt, still not deliver, still not be able to, you look at Thomas Partey as an example, 1 or 2 good good games in a year, hasn't still adapted to the Premier League. And he very much has the size, the physicality, the athleticism. And when you watched him at Atletico Madrid, certainly the footballing ability. So whether or not this deal goes through or not still remains to be seen. But the reports are that Man United have placed a bid. No other club, as far as I can see, has had those reports go in. Personally, my opinion, I don't think a bid has happened as of yet. I think Man United typically moving a little bit slow this summer. I still think they're weighing up their options. I still think they're looking at moving people out of the squad before they buy anybody. I think if moves for Jesse Lingard or Anthony Martial could transpire, maybe there's a possibility of people coming in. Most of the tier one or close to Manchester United media have kind of spoke about players like Denis Zakaria being on Man United's radar, but they have been very, very direct and almost very, very unyielding in their thought and in their view that actually it's unlikely that Manchester United will buy anybody in this January window. So let's see what happens. Let's see how things move forward. Let's see what goes on there. But I do want your views. I do want your opinions. I'm going to share the link in the live comment section now for you to come on and to have your say on any of this. Lucas Digne, if you're a Chelsea fan, you might want to have your opinion. Denis Zakaria. We're the only channel that every day gives you the chance to speak, to give your opinions, to ask questions, just to have a rant, whatever it is you want to do. Your opinions are the most important part of the terrace. Francisco here says, does Zakaria not want to win trophies? He should come to Liverpool. We want him. And I think that's one of the reasons as well why Man United will not share this. If this bid was even true, if they were pursuing him heavily, Man United are never going to allow this news to come out, in my opinion, until they are 100% sure they're going to get him. When I say news to come out, they're not going to brief the respected British transfer gurus or the Fabrizios on this news until that moment, because if they put the bid in and the bid's accepted, but then Liverpool put a bid in and he goes to Liverpool, and let's just say Simon Stone and Fabrizio and Jonathan Schragner, say they all go, yeah, Man United have put the bid in, but then Liverpool match the bid and he goes Liverpool, the L is so big. And we all know that football clubs try to protect themselves massively against L's all the time. They really, really do. And it's the PR is big. And what they do to push the PR is they use these some of these tier one journalists at time in the right way. The journalists play the game. Of course they do. They want the inside information. They want access to the club that nobody else gets. And I think people have just got to be a little aware of that. So do I personally think a bid has gone in? No. I don't. I don't think it. Someone here says no, but they're just the real journalists. Well, they're all. Someone tweeted me that this morning saying they're not going to believe anything until Fabrizio tweets it, and I copied Fabrizio in my tweet after that. I said, look, for me, I think that's very rude and disrespectful to other journalists, and I stand by that. And I think Fabrizio would agree. What I would say about these stories is this: the tier ones are not always first. They're not always first. It just appears they're first. So the other day when Ornstein and Fabrizio in the space of 12 hours spoke about Arsenal's growing confidence to sign Vlahovic, breaking the bank to sign Vlahovic, and all that stuff, everyone was like, wow, it's trending. Then it turned, Dean Jones said it 2 days earlier. It's just certain journalists have got they're tiered in terms of the social media presence, and I don't tend to stand by that. I'll listen to every report from every journalist, and then we see what transpires. If in 2 days' time it turns out this news is true, I guarantee none of you are going to suddenly go, right, we've got to go and follow Gianluigi here. He now becomes the oracle. It just is what it is. We saw it with, I remember, and again, I know that you don't all do this, but the biggest telling point for me is Nuno Conte. It was kind of journalists that everyone says are tier 3, tier 4 that broke the news. But then everybody celebrated one big tier 1 that broke it like 5 hours later. It's like, why are you celebrating the tier 1 who's now sharing the news when other journalists said exactly what he said 5 hours ago? That's the bit that I find disrespectful to those journalists, and I just tend not to want to do that. Listen, Clown Bridge, we're not. Listen, I know we always put super chats up, but that was far too disrespectful to put up on the terrace there, my friend. So sorry about that. Terry, have you heard anything about Thiago injury rumors? I haven't. No, all I've seen today on Liverpool is Jurgen Klopp getting angry with a journalist. Honestly, I was like, what's wrong with him? Why is he going so mental for? Like legit, he got so aggressive or passive aggressive. Oh yeah, so I did. So this is actually from Liverpool Football Club 18 hours ago. They said Thiago is expected to begin his rehabilitation program on a hip injury on Monday, but Jurgen Klopp isn't anticipating a prolonged spell on the sidelines. So yeah, Klopp said no. I think what the journalist was trying to say to Jurgen Klopp was, last year you started well. This year you started well. Last year injuries derailed your season. Could you see the same happening again? He was going to then follow up with a question about transfers. It was so obvious when listening. And Klopp obviously came in with well, of course, if we get injuries, it will derail our season. That the journalist was just sort of setting things up to say, are you going to go into the transfer market to buy play? Because this is the thing. Klopp is right. The journalist is right. We all know if Liverpool lose Mo Salah and Liverpool lose Van Dijk again, they ain't winning the league, they ain't winning the Champions League. So the question from the journalist was going to be, until he was rudely interrupted, are you going to go into the transfer market and buy reinforcements? Because if last January you bought Rafinha and Konate, you might not have fallen off. I'm just saying. I felt it was really disrespectful what Jurgen Klopp did, to be fair. And if I know Liverpool fans will defend him, I don't expect you not to. But it's like, why you got to blow up at the man? He's leading up to the question. Do you know what's crazy? If he'd have just gone straight in with a transfer question, it would have probably been met with the same kind of annoyance. He was just trying to build the picture. I thought it was really rude to put him on the spot like that. I really, really did. A few people were saying Karen Klopp, maybe. Terry, we are done. FFG are holding us back. Well, this is the point. I love how you put original because someone's copied your name in the comment section. What I would say to you is this on it, right? That's why I think Jurgen Klopp's angry, because I think Jurgen Klopp knew exactly what question was coming from this journalist, and he didn't want to answer it, so he deflected. That's what I felt he did. Terry, is the secret phrase on? Yes, the secret phrase is always on. The only reason it's not behind me is the envelope thing fell off the tripod like just before I went live, and I didn't have time to pick it up. So the secret phrase is always on. It's always on. It's always on. Know this is the transfer show, but are we going to talk about Klopp's blatant cheating with the false positives? No idea how this isn't a bigger deal. We're going to talk about that on a show later with a full panel. I think that's the best place for it, Pac-Man. I wouldn't say it's blatant cheating. It's just another indication of people not understand. None of us understand the process because they won't tell us the process. It really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. In my opinion, Klopp is frustrated due to the lack of transfer activity by SFG, but he won't say that in the media. This is the only tripe I have with Klopp. And I respect you. I know you always back your club, bro, in the comments. And I agree with you. I think most people understand why Klopp is frustrated. But of course, the way he spoke to that journalist was still very much unacceptable to the majority of people. The Vlahovic deal. I was going to get a quick update on Vlahovic, and then we're going to go to your calls here. So John Cross, who tends to be fairly respected in the kind of Arsenal fraternity, really, when it comes to football, or he appears to be. Maybe I've completely misread that. What's very interesting about John Cross is he has come out today in the media, chief football writer at the Mirror, and has stated, again, echoed really. I'm not saying it isn't his news. I'm sure his news is his news, right? I'm sure that he knows what he's talking about. But I want to get his exact quote here. I don't want to misquote him here. This story came out this morning, and he said his opening line was, Arsenal are willing to break the bank for Dusan Vlahovic in January to stop him going elsewhere in the summer. That very much echoes what Dean Jones said last week and a number of other journalists. It echoes the information that we received later on in the week around them breaking the bank, offering big money to the player, Fiorentina, and of course, the agent as well. So it's interesting that John Cross and Josh O'Brien, who's a sports writer there, have gone with this story. And they're also talking about the FA Cup result proves why that's needed. You know, that strength in depth. One of the things that was missing with Arsenal yesterday was movement from Eddie Nketiah. He just doesn't, and he ain't lazy. People go for the irony in this. The lazy punditry is he is lazy. It isn't that he's lazy. He just doesn't see it. He doesn't see the runs he should be making. He doesn't have the football vision to know what to do. One of the things I love about Marcus Rashford, one of the very good skills that he's got are those diagonal runs that he makes to break lines. He sees where the ball should get played because he can break a line. That's a very important skill to have. It isn't looked at as, it's not techie. It doesn't make you stand up on your seat and go, wow, did you see that skill? But it's a very important element of understanding and an intelligent element of the game. Eddie Nketiah lacks that. If you watch Lukaku's got a brilliant ability to know when to drift, when to pull back, where to kind of circumvent himself in the box, where to make great movement. The best strikers in the world, the Lewandowskis, as an example, R9 was great at this. And I know I'm not comparing Eddie Nketiah to these guys, but just watch some games, forget their touch, forget how they finish. Just watch their movement. Just watch their movement in and around the box. Another great example, and I know it was against Swindon, but Bernardo Silva's movement in the box of the first goal on Friday in the FA Cup. These things are highly intelligent and should be and are very much underappreciated. Rashford is an offside merchant more often than not because the pass doesn't come soon enough. He sees it before the passer does, and that's why if you get better distributors. By the way, look how often he's offside when it's McTominay or Fred passing it to him, compared to when it's Paul Pogba passing it to him, who sees the pass quicker. Intelligence meets intelligence. There we go. Right, first caller of the day. Pav is on the show with me now. What are you saying, Pav?
Good morning, man. Denis Zakaria. I was just wondering if he's available for 5 and 6 million. Why isn't no one actually bought him yet? I mean, we're a week and a half into the transfer window. It's not like he's on enormous wages. He's on about, I think it's about 50,000 a week. I don't know if that's euros or pounds. Um, and he's got what 6 months left. I know he's a decent player. Like you said, he's good height, he's quick, he's powerful, strong, uh, and more importantly, a lot of teams who need a midfielder. If this guy's available for that much, why hasn't actually no one gone in, like an actual bid gone in yet? Because Borussia Mönchengladbach, they're not even doing that well. I think they're 12th, so it's not like they need to keep him for the Champions League places. And I kind of guess they're not bothered about a Conference League or Europa League place to keep someone like Zakaria for that. Um, I know he had a knee injury, which kept him out for about 250 days, what I read on his profile. But then again, other players have injuries, but he hasn't had an injury this season. I know he's out at the moment with COVID, but that's it. So that injury hasn't crept back since. But I'm kind of like wondering, how is he still available? Why hasn't no one snapped him up for like 5 to 6 mil? Or is there something that a lot of us don't know? Because I know Fabrizio said 5 days ago that Ralph Ragnick and his coaches like admire him a lot. But is it down to the fact, like I said a couple of weeks, a week or so ago, that we just have a too big of a squad? But for 5 and 6 million, wouldn't you want to take that risk? Especially when our
Yeah.
midfield is thin.
I wrote a tweet earlier, then I didn't send it just because I don't know why I didn't send it. I couldn't word it right again because I'm dyslexic. Sometimes I have thoughts in my head, but I can't write them down in the correct way. For me, £6 million, it's just worth a gamble because even if say
Yeah, it
Campbell was
is.
trash, right? Say he was worse than McTominay. It's only cost £6 million. Like you sell him in the summer for you sign him for £6 million. He's on 50 grand a week in Germany. Pay him 80 grand a week, right? And £6 million. So say he costs you in total for 6 months, like £8 million. You could probably sell him in the summer back to a German club for 15 million and make a profit. Like you could flip him like you buy like a rundown house. You do it up a bit
Yeah.
and you flip it. You could he's so cheap, you could flip him in the market.
And the thing
I
is,
mean, I'd risk it. I'd risk it for a
We've
biscuit.
heard Ollie say that some like Donny isn't up to it, like physicality wise. Yet Ralph Ragnick isn't playing Donny because of the same issue, saying he's not up, like his physical attributes
Oh.
ain't up there. But yet we play Fred, who's probably ate more grass on the football pitch than the cows on Clarkson's farm. You know what I mean? Like, why are we playing these weak players in our midfield? Yet you've got someone like Zakaria who's very strong, like tall, but he's available for 6 mil,
Yeah,
and we pay 50 mil
I've
and
seen him
30
play.
mil for
He
two
looks strong.
players.
Yeah, he looks strong. He's 80 kilos. He's 6'3". I'm going to hazard again. The maddest bit is sometimes you don't need to be big to be strong. Because do you know one of the things about Lukaku at Man United that bothered me? Size of the geezer, and he got
He
bullied
just
by
fell
everybody.
over all the time.
Yeah, because some people don't have. You still have to have fight. You still have to have that. Like there are some players out there that
They just don't
tiny
have the
and not fight.
balance.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see. But yeah, look, I look at it this way. My personal thought is I'm more than happy to like take a risk on him for the money that he's going to cost. I personally think he's better than everything we've got at the club already. I believe why Man United personally haven't made any move for anybody yet. I believe we're adopting I think we've got like 27 players in our squad, and it's ridiculously big. I think the club wants to remove people first. I think if we can get Lingard and Martial out as an example, then I think we may see some people come in. But if we can't move nobody on, we're not going to have it. A lot of people mention Kante. Listen, Kante is strong. Kante's got fight, so you can be small and be strong at the same time. We're not suggesting that you're not, but in my opinion, if somebody that's 6'3" and weighs 80 kilos goes into a shoulder barge fight with someone that's 5'2" and weighs 60 kilos, and they both go in hard, the 20 extra kilos is going to win. Like, it's just physics. Like, you can't stop it. So, but the difference is with Kante. Kante isn't really he's a fighter, but Kante's more about timing. Kante's ability to cover ground and get to the ball before his opponent generally is what makes him the best.
He's got like the balance and the agility
Yeah.
that helps him.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like with his pace and like I said, the balance and agility. Them sort of players you don't really see them go down as much. Like someone like Fred. Do you remember when we played Wolves the first time round, the amount of times that this guy got bashed to the floor by Adama Traore?
What Man United need is a press-resistant holding midfield player. When I watched Basuma the other day against Chelsea, whether he was facing his own goal or facing forward, if he got pressured, and he was being pressured by some of the best midfielders in Europe, he's able to hold them off with strength and then the agility roll them. And then his footballing ability enabled him to progress the ball with a pass. When I've watched Denis, is it Zakaria or Zakaria?
I think it's either way. Some people pronounce
Cool.
it Zakaria.
I've heard it both ways, so I don't know. Just call him Denis for now. It will all be right with me. Denny boy. When it comes to Denny, right, he has the ability to do that as well. So I kind of feel like for me, it's such a good gamble. It's not even a gamble at £6 million. It's almost a steal. You know, it's one of them. It's one of them. It's like someone offering you, listen, do you want to buy an R8? Do you want to buy an R8 for like $5,000? It's in perfect working condition. What, an 80 grand car for $5,000? Sweet. You know what I mean? Even if after a month you didn't like it, you'd sell it for more money. So it makes no odds to me. Listen, Pav, top man. I'll speak to you soon, brother.
Cheers, man.
Thank you. People like, no, call him by his name, mate. Don't be ignorant. You know, Dennis is his name as well. I'm just saying, I'm hearing people say it two different ways. KJ's on the show now in the car with the headphones on. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I just finished gym and that, you know what I'm saying? So, about to go home. But yo, fam, I don't trust this transfer, bro. Something stinks. Something absolutely stinks about this transfer, fam. Like, and that's all it is. Like, this football club, the way that it's going about its business, it doesn't seem right. If he's 6 million, you take the 6 million, you buy him, and then you just take the hit on the other man that you need to get out of the team. Like, that's the point where we're at right now. We just need to take hits. This structural rebuild thing that we've been talking about for how long needs to start all over again already. And to do that, you gotta knock it down. And when you knock it down, sometimes you can't preserve the wall that cost $1,000 to keep up. You know, so you just gotta get rid of it. So if we was really trying to get my brother, I guarantee you, 5 million, 6 million, bam, done. We'll get it done. And then you'll see Jesse Lingard go for 10. Martial out on loan with half the wages paid by the team, and we pay the other half. We don't want it enough, Terry. The club don't want it enough. And this is, for me, just a club putting something out there to, again, distract us from the real issue, which is the people who run the football club. So this transfer stinks. As a player, he's a good player, but will he have Man United syndrome, where we see him do great somewhere else, and see him do good somewhere else for the national team and his other club, and as soon as he comes here, man's basically Swiss McTominay. Like, I can see it, fam. I can see it like all over this. So I'm very skeptical.
We were when Fred came in, because of how good he looked when he was away, because of the links with Pep, we were like, we're getting a baller, we're getting a proper midfielder, and we get Fred comes in patches. In patches, he's a baller. He's a purple patch baller for me. So yeah, I kind of get where you're coming from. And in relation to like moving things on, there's one thing, if we read all the reports from Richard Arnold, it's all like we're going to hand the footballing decisions over. This isn't a footballing decision. They're not going to pick the players anymore. They've still got to sign off on the money. So they're essentially, so I don't have an issue with the player that's being picked. I back players that Ralph picks, because Ralph as a DOF is sensational. But it's now the club. It's now Joel Glazer and Richard Arnold saying, yeah, until we sell people, we're not allowing anyone new to come in, which is again, and I understand fixing things and having the right processes in place. So whether you're in agreement with us doing it now and slowly fixing and getting people out and having a proper process is one thing, but it's at the very least, it's another legacy problem created by this club. The likes of Lingard and the likes of Martial are so hard to move on because of how much money we've paid them. And Martial FC don't like hearing this, but Martial is being paid. So I was going to keep you on mute, so I'm getting an echo from you until you speak. Sorry, mate. The Martial is being paid one of the highest salaries in the world for a number 9 striker. But he isn't producing like a number. Now, some people will say that's because Oli killed him, Jose destroyed him. It's a club. It doesn't matter why he is where he is in the pecking order of things. No one's going to pay him that money. Man United are essentially set. There's obviously something up. We'll see if he's in the squad tonight. But Cavani wants to leave in the summer. He was talking to other clubs. He sat down with Man United. They were very close to a total agreement for him moving on, or at least agreeing to move on. And that's all been quashed until the summer now because of conversations. The Martial situation is very different. He's not in the squad and he wants to leave. We'll see if he's back today. The club wants him gone. He wants to leave, but no one's coming in for him. Martial, it's not Martial's fault in himself. But that deal is stopping it because of the legacy problems at the club, which is why I'm still so angry at Manchester United. Because at the end of the day, the reason that we can't go after players this January when we need them is because of problems that they've created in years gone by.
Exactly. And it's not just before anyone comes to say, oh, you guys hate Martial. No, Martial's one of my favorite players at Man United. Like, I love the guy. I've got your fam. I sweated hard on FIFA just to get his special card. Like, I love the guy. But I know when it's time for a player to move on, and now is that time. He wants to go anyway. So why am I keeping him prisoner? You know what I mean? Free. You say free Doddy, free Tony, bruv. You know what I mean? Let him go. But the club like to hold on. It's not just him. It's not just Lingard. It's the Jones. It's the Juan Matters. It's the Matic. You got these players that are still here for what goddamn reason? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I've heard, we saw rumors of Mata leaving to go to the MLS or back to La Liga. In a couple of days, boom, it's like, oh yeah, Whitehead's probably not going to leave now. What do you mean? Why? What do you mean he's not going to? Why is he still here? Man's doing more. He's seen more blog posts. He's seen more characters on his blog than flipping Premier League minutes, bruv. Like, that's how peak it is. Phil Jones has come back, and yes, everyone's like, oh, Jonesy, look at the dedication. I don't care, man. He needs to be freed. He needs to be freed. Let him go.
I was mad about it when you look at the One Matter thing. So this is why this is one thing I got wrong. And I'm not apologizing per se, but I got wrong. I'm openly saying, like, when we re-signed One Matter, I was kind of relaxed because the story was, he'd been signed, but for reduced money. And he's slowly going to transition to coaching or moving upstairs. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's part of the whole thing around keeping some continuity. You know, maybe we all know that Juan Mata is a very intelligent footballer. He's very articulate. You think, okay, that's the kind of person you can see transitioning into a directorship type role, who's got great football knowledge, respected in the game, got a brain, so can actually, because some footballers, with all due respect, you listen to them talk, they're never running a club. You know what I mean? They're not running a club. But now we're willing just to let him go to Real Sociedad or wherever else. He's like, so So there was no succession plan for him to go upstairs. Therefore, you've given him a new deal, hemorrhaged millions of pounds out the club for no reason. So for me now, every time I hear a decision that they're making, until I see the fruits of that labor, so it could take 2 years, 3 years for the decisions now to work, I'm not getting gassed. I'm not defending a single thing they do. I'm listening to people's gripes. I'll always play devil's advocate. Oh, do you not think this? Do you think that? But as far as I'm concerned, we should, just like Villa, just like Newcastle, with the situation we're in, with the glaring holes in certain positions in our team. I look at it this way. You throw a top-class midfielder into our team and Eric Lamptey, you would see an improvement. Not enough to win the league, not enough to win the Champions League, but you would see an improvement. Then all we need, and do you know what I've loved about what Ralph has said in the last couple of days? This is one thing where I'm like, I'll apologize for what I was wrong about, or I'll say I'm sorry for what I was wrong about, but this is one thing I'm bang on. All I keep hearing from him in every interview, intensity, running, passion, desire, work rate. And something that Ralph said that made me laugh, I just thought all the eye test merchants in the mud. And I'm talking eye test over everything, but not people that understand that they want good football, but they understand you've got to work hard to get it. I'm talking about the people who hate words like passion, hate words like running. Oh, it ain't all about running, bro. You ain't got to run to be a good ticky baller. You're not playing in a playground. You're not playing in the cage. You're not playing like 22 versus 22 on a big field in Wanstead Flats in East London. You're talking about professional football. You could have the best coaches, the best players, the best system, the best technician ballers. If you don't work hard and have intensity, it will fall apart every single day of the week. So we do need to improve the ballers. We need these players to improve that intensity and work hard. The problem we've got a number of players in the team and squad that don't want to be there, that are bringing the mood down. We've got a few more players that don't want to work hard and run. And at the same time, we can't add anybody new to the situation because of this situation that the Glazers and Woodward caused at Man United. I'm still seeing people on Twitter go, Ollie let all this happen. Yeah, he did. And he got sacked for it. Who let Ollie do it? Who gave that man a new deal in the summer and reaffirmed all this behavior? The owners. Never lose sight of that. KJ, legend for coming on, bro. And we'll chat to you again soon. Top
Glazers out, fam. Bun them pagans.
There we go, mate. Top man. Some people are laughing about the Eric Lamptey thing. Listen, what I mean is, like, I'm just using him as an example. Very talented fullback. Sorry, did I say Eric Lamptey? I meant Tarek Lamptey. I don't know why I called him Eric. I don't know who's Eric? Who's got the name Eric at the moment? Why Eric's in my head? I don't know. Tarek, Eric, I don't know. Got it wrong. Sorry. Slip of the tongue. What do they call it? Freudian slip. That's all it was, my friends. Relax your brains, though. You understand the message, innit? Tom's here with us now. What are you saying, Tom?
You right, Tao?
I'm very well. What are you here to say, buddy?
Just frustrated. Congrats to Nottingham Forest. We got what we deserve. I thought the game was just so poor yesterday. The Conga, poor. And you know that, and he gave that goal away, and they deserved it. And you know what, Tavares, you see when that back pass to Leno, I'm thinking, what is this guy doing? You know, he almost cost us a goal in that.
That was almost a great shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, great shot. I thought for Charlie Patino, like, I thought he didn't get onto the ball enough for me. I'm not going to blame him, but I thought people shouldn't be too hard for me. He's only 18. He's young. He's going to make mistakes, but I thought he wasn't that bad yesterday. And Ketia, this guy needs to get out. He needs to go from me. How can you miss that chance twice? Frustrating, but congrats to Nottingham Forest. They've knocked us out twice. We deserve what we get. I've told people, then this manager brings Kolasinac to do what, bro? Kolasinac.
I absolutely hear you on that. In terms of the transfer stories, obviously you're linked. There's a report today that John Cross has put out that you're willing to break the bank for Dusan Vlahovic. Do you believe that Arsenal will follow through, put the big money bids in, offer the money to the agents to get this deal done?
Yeah, because we do have to get him now, because we can't waste our time. We have to go and get him now, bruv. And they want Torreira as well. I love Torreira, but I think we should just let Torreira wants to. I think we should sell Torreira, like, and then just give us Vlahovic, because we need a striker and obviously we need a holding midfield. It shows we have problem. The midfield is weak, and we have to go and get him now. We have to go and get him, because we can't fuck around and not sign him. We do need a striker. We have to hurry up and get this deal done, because every time we leave it too late. We do this. We leave deals too late. We need to hurry up and get him, and we need to get a holding midfield. We need to hold. You see the midfield? Yes, you see how weak it was. We need to get a holding midfield as well, and that's all we need: a striker and a defensive midfielder. And we do have to get that deal, because if we don't get him, I'm going to be pissed off, and we have to try and get like another striker, but we have to hurry up and get Vlahovic. Get him now. Now we need to get that deal now, please.
There we go. Young Tommy spoke his words there very passionately. Top man, Tommy. Thank you very much for coming on the show and having your say. Look, there's lots of thoughts and lots of opinions around this from people. Look, we're back later on today with more transfer stories for you, more news that is circulating. Of course, make sure you sign up to our Twitch account. The live watch along starts tonight. Really good group in there. Banks is with us. Lies is there. Prime's in the house as well. Of course, I'm there also. And the match reaction show straight afterwards. So go get signed up to the Twitch account as well. And our transfer notification group chat as well. I got a little bit tongue-tied there again. Do me a favor. Subscribe to The Terrace before you leave. Subscribe, like, share, and